Hello, welcome. Today we're going to talk about a very special, almost mysterious area, the seemingly impenetrable fortresses of the female world. Have you ever wondered, why do some men act like a magnet the moment they walk into a room? Why does a woman find it so hard to say no to his proposals, his ideas, or even just his presence? The answer isn't just about good looks or a fat wallet, it's about pressing the right buttons. It's about skillfully vibrating those invisible emotional strings. Today, I'm going to tell you the 5 famous things that make a woman drop her guard and say that yes. But let's agree on something first. Your time is valuable, so is mine. That's why I've kept this video compact. Every word is deliberate, no filler. Every sentence is a strategic key. If you want to use these keys correctly and dive deep into female psychology, I recommend watching until the very end without skipping a second. Because by the end of this video, you'll learn how to effortlessly open those complex doors. Not with simple tactics, but with true, unshakable charisma. If you're ready, let's step into that fascinating world, Alina's world. Now, the first and perhaps most fundamental issue we need to focus on is invisible trust. This is where many men go wrong under the guise of being a gentleman. The first step to a woman being unable to say no to you is your unshakable loyalty to your own boundaries. Look, we women have an incredible weakness for men who know what they want and stand by their decisions. But they do it while remaining a true gentleman. Do you know why? Because this triggers a woman's most basic evolutionary and psychological instinct, the need for shelter and trust. Think about it. It's very easy to say no to someone who always says, okay, you know best, or whatever you want. Why? Because that man isn't protecting his own space. He has no opinion of his own. And if you don't value your own opinion, no one else will. But a man who knows where he stands and puts his principles first automatically becomes a figure to be respected. In relationship psychology, respect is a prerequisite for desire. Saying no to someone we respect and admire is one of the hardest things in the world. So, our first rule: say yes to yourself first. Set your boundaries. When you value yourself, the world starts to give you that same value. So, is just setting boundaries and staying a bit distant enough? Of course not. You need to add that sincere, slightly playful and flirtatious spirit. This is where the power of details comes in. Women absolutely melt when details are noticed, not the big obvious things everyone sees. When you mention a small change that only your sharp intellect could catch, you're sending a hidden message. I really see you, I'm observing you, and I care about you. This is the spark that starts the electricity between a man and a woman. In relationship psychology, we call this the need for mirroring and validation. If a woman feels like the most special, most noticed person in the world when she's with you, saying no to your request feels like saying no to her own happiness. You must use your sharp observation skills. Catch the small shifts in her soul. This isn't manipulation, this is an art. We've moved past the first sections now. I'm sure you're thinking, Alina, these are great, but what's the real clincher? Stay calm. We're about to get to the most critical point: mastery of emotional management. But never forget this. The 5th rule I'll explain at the very end is the golden touch. It connects everything and turns you from just some guy into an irreplaceable man. Stay focused. Every second we're going deeper. In the 3rd stage, we come to the power women can never resist: emotional leadership. In a relationship or the flirting phase, uncertainty is a woman's worst enemy. What is he thinking? Where is this going? These questions are exhausting. This is where the man who makes the plan and draws the map removes no from the woman's vocabulary. Instead of, what should we do? Try this. I'm taking you somewhere very special tonight. It fits your spirit perfectly. I know you'll love it. When you do that, you take the burden of decision-making off her shoulders. This isn't pressure, it's comfort. Women feel a massive attraction to a man who provides this. It's a reflection of masculine energy, protection, decisiveness. No matter how strong or successful we are, we love following a man who makes life easier. Leadership is one of the greatest gifts you can offer a woman. Actually, there's a common psychological denominator here, a golden rule for both men and women, the desire to be valued and understood. But for women, this value isn't measured by expensive gifts. It's about consistency and small emotional investments. When you do something kind, make sure it doesn't feel like a transaction. Do it because you want to, because she is who she is. That's when the walls crumble. A simple, "How was your day?" text when she's stressed, or handing her her favorite chocolate for no reason. This opens a huge, safe room for you in her emotional world. As Alina, I can tell you this with all my sincerity and feminine instinct. Sometimes, even the most complex psychological analyses aren't enough. Your natural, upright, and masculine sincerity solves everything in one move. I've noticed this in my own life too. Give her enough space so that being with you isn't a struggle or a tactical war. Make it a privilege that feeds her soul. Fourth on the list is something many men mistake for weakness, but it's actually the strongest key to a woman's soul: controlled vulnerability and deep trust. Look, we love men who stand like an unshakable rock, yes, but we also want to know there's a heart beating inside. We want to know we have permission to enter that private room. When you show a woman the real you beneath the social mask, just for a moment, share a dream, a hesitation, or a thought that excites you, her loyalty becomes unbreakable. This is the most masculine way to say, "I trust you." A woman never plays defense when she is treated as a special confidant. This turns your emotional bond into concrete. To make it impossible for her to say no, you must be the man who goes where no one else can. Stand like a fortress to the world, but open the gates only for her. This makes you unique. And now, we're reaching the big one, the fifth and greatest rule, the sharpest sword in your character, the power of being ready to walk away. This might sound harsh at first, maybe even cold, but it's actually the purest form of self-confidence. A woman needs to know you don't need her, you want her. You want her as a color, a beauty, and a joy in your life. But if she's not there, you will still walk your path with unshakable steps. When she knows this, her attraction to you grows exponentially. In psychology, neediness is the ultimate attraction killer. It smells like desperation. It pushes a woman away at light speed. Neediness is a burden. No one wants to carry someone else's existential weight. But a man who is whole on his own is a center of gravity. When you stay at the center of your own life, a woman will long to be part of that center. She will never say no to a story she is proud to be included in. When you combine all of this, your boundaries, your eye for detail, your leadership, your emotional honesty, and that indispensable free spirit, you are no longer just an option, you become the one. As Alina, I can tell you this. Women are dying to say yes to a man who is strong enough to let them say no. When you start radiating this energy, you'll be amazed at how those no's turn into passionate yeses. So, today we cracked the secret codes of the female world together. If this touched your soul and gave you a new perspective, let's keep walking this path together. Subscribe to the channel below. Click that little bell icon for notifications. Also, tell me in the comments which of these 5 rules surprised you the most. I'll read and answer them all. For now, take great care of yourself. Keep that charismatic stance. I'll see you in the next video, right here, on the same frequency. Goodbye.